This is a Ben Frank Connection presentation.
What is going on, everybody? We are back for another episode of the ABJP Tornado Tag. This week in wrestling, 1/4/2024. BP, we are finally have kicked off a brand new year of professional wrestling. We got a week of wrestling that was actually live and not pre-recorded. We got to see some crazy news coming out of a lot of places. Actually, this is airing Thursday night at 8:30. We just had some breaking news just now when it comes to the WWE side. Just announced some Money in the Bank news.
Yeah, I think Triple H kind of blew the announcement earlier today. And they're like, oh, yeah, that was the thing we were going to announce at 8 o'clock tonight. So, yeah, it's just the location. Money in the Bank will be in Toronto.
Yes. So yeah, that was kind of the breaking news tonight, but we are going to cover a little bit of WWE, a little bit of NXT, a little bit of AEW, a little bit of New Japan. So
lot
of news coming out of professional wrestling. Let's kick it off here with let's go to Saturday. Let's rewind back Saturday night. We got World's End. Yes, a full year. We're gonna go back last year,
right?
And we'll talk about we'll talk about the newest pay-per-view that just happened. Well, the newest of last year. I don't know what to fucking say.
The final
pay-per-view of 2023. World's End in New York. We're not gonna break down the entire card. Because it's a long one, 11 matches, a lot to go over. We'll kind of just go through the highlights of the pay-per-view, what we liked, what we disliked. I'm just going to put it to you first. Tell me what you like, dislike, ruin my soul, break my heart, and then I'll tell you what I liked.
I don't think it's gonna be that rough. I thought there was a lot of good on there, and some like most AEW pay-per-views, I think it would have been a bit better if it was an hour shorter. And I think I know what I would have cut.
Absolutely.
But it's funny though. And I'm saying in the chat how they're saying that we all kind of tanked the scorecards. I didn't do mine. I did like 2 of them, and I don't think I ever saved it.
For Japan?
No, for World's End.
World's End, I finished I think like 4th.
Okay.
Yeah, I did all right.
I didn't finish. I did call the Battle Royal though, although I forgot. And
Wrestle Kingdom, we did terrible. The highest score is 46 points.
Oof.
Yeah.
I forgot, and I think we all forgot, you, me, and Ricky Price last week all forgot that Luchasaurus isn't Luchasaurus anymore. And I think AEW forgot because he still dresses like a dinosaur. He still wears a dinosaur mask, even though he's kill shot.
Yes. But he got a Luchasaurus chant.
But he's not Luchasaurus.
I think he's coming back. I think Luchasaurus is coming back.
Probably.
Yeah.
Although it's we'll get into it when we talk about Dynamite. But yeah, some of the highlights for me, I thought the Battle Royal was a Battle Royal. I thought the opening 8-man tag was very good with Daniel, all the people in the Continental Classic that didn't make the finals, or some.
It told a good story. Daniel Garcia's story during that match was fun.
It helps when you have a general in there, and they had a general in there. I thought even Miro and Andrade, I thought was pretty good. The crowd didn't really seem that into it, and but I thought the match told a decent story. I thought Riho and Tony Storm was as good as it could have been, because I do struggle with Riho being believable.
Yes, me too. How about Tony Storm right at the end of the match just said, fuck it, and just started beating the shit out of her. just like start ragdolling her. And she's like, and just, it was the end of the match. Like she just whipped her around like she was 22 pounds and just chucked her and said, end of match. Let's get out of here.
And if I'm trimming up, it's going to be the other 8-man tag. Unfortunately, I think the controversy with Jericho kind of muddied that for the crowd, and the crowd was very much out of it, and they almost killed Sting and Darby. And the Abaddon Julia Hart match never really got in the second gear. And
why do you think that is?
How do I
have a theory.
How do I put this? I want to try to be nice. I don't think Abaddon's very good.
I don't think Abaddon was the problem.
And Julia Hart is at the stage where she can be carried, but she can't carry.
Yes, I think Abaddon, they carried that match, and I think what made that match struggle hitting its next gear. I don't think it was a terrible match, but I do agree with you. It never hit the second gear.
It was an okay TV match.
Yes, I think what held that match back is I don't think Julia Hart has found herself with this character yet. And I think they're struggling to find out who she's going to be with this character. And then they put her against another spooky character.
Yeah.
And the in-ring was fine, but they couldn't tell that story of their characters during the match while the match was going on. And that's, I think, what's hindered the match.
And the psychology of the match is kind of based on biting. And I think, and it didn't really click for me, I guess. And then it's kind of, I think a match can suffer greatly if the finish is kind of flubbed, and the finish was kind of flubbed.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, as far as the rest of the show, I thought it was a show where it's like, this can go one of two ways, and it's all going to depend on those last 3 matches. And I thought the last 3 matches delivered, all 3 of them.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I know people might be disappointed in MJF Joe. I think MJF is clearly definitely hurt, and still went in there and told a story as best he could. I thought Kingston and Moxley told a great story. Bryan Danielson has a future as a commentator if he wants to be, because he was incredible in commentary. And even speaking of telling a story, Christian Cage and Copeland masterclass.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Well, let's get into the end of the pay-per-view here, where we got the reveal of the devil. I mean, it was pretty clear from the start it was going to be Adam Cole. We've been saying it the whole time. It's going to be Adam Cole. What shocked me, though, was Wardlow. I had Wardlow in a different role, and how him joining the stable was interesting. We won't get into a lot more about this until we cover Dynamite, but that was shocking to me. I'm shocked we didn't see Kyle O'Reilly.
I wonder what his health status is, because his injury was very bad.
Yeah. We had pretty good inside source talking about his injury and how bad it was and how bad it has been for such a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say who said it, who said what, or go to details, but they said they were shocked he passed the physical to get in the WWE and did his NXT run. His neck was that bad. And he probably wrestled like that his entire NXT run with a neck that at any point in time could have probably ended his life. And then you think about that, and you think about the matches he put on with like Finn Balor and stuff, and you're like, ooh, Kyle O'Reilly is a different breed.
He's exceptionally good. He's exceptionally good. My other thoughts, as far as I think the one thing I will kind of take umbrage with in the storytelling is that even though Adam Cole is set up as the big bad here, he didn't really do much. And I know he's limited because of his injury, but the dastardly thing that the devil did is he didn't help the babyface cheat. Or he did, but he did it slowly. I would have done the reveal slightly differently. I would have done the reveal very slightly differently, where you had the spot where MJF is fumbling around for the ring. I would have had him fumble around for the ring and then pull the devil mask out, and you just have MJF sell that shock, and that's like the big moment, and then Joe slaps on the choke and it's done. Just because that gives Adam Cole a little bit more agency in costing MJF the title.
Yeah.
Where with this it was just okay. He fumbled around for a long time. But anyway, that's not really that's like a hair splitting thing, and I was not.
A lot of people saying Joe won clean. I said he really didn't. Adam Cole delayed enough to get Joe to recover.
But that's clean. What? Because MJF cheated slow. That's dirty?
No. But I mean, MJF was trying to cheat as well, which I think is good storytelling when we get back to Dynamite.
What rule did Samoa Joe break?
He didn't. But I'm just saying
that's clean then. That's
clean. Adam Cole helped Joe recover and get the choke in because MJF wasn't paying attention.
Right. Well, no, MJF was trying to cheat.
Yes, but Adam Cole was involved in Adam Cole was involved in the finish without touching anybody.
Yeah, I think I just would have given him a little more agency in the finish, but that's just my opinion.
Actually, let's backtrack one more match. And I thought was a lot of that we'll talk about real quick. What did we think about the Adam Copeland winning the title, then losing the title? Because we talked about, you said a lot of 15-minute or 15-month booking in 15 minutes or however the.
Well, no, I mean, once Copeland wins and stands tall and leaves the ring with his head held high, it's over. Like that's the end of the feud, and they're obviously not ready for the feud to end yet.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, that table spot, I thought Nick Wayne broke his neck.
Yeah. That wasn't great. And then when he bounced off the table almost landed on him.
Yeah,
the flaming table almost landed on him. So that was a little tough.
Yeah. Besides that, I enjoyed the pay-per-view. I don't think it was bad. I don't think the finish was as bad as everyone made it out to be. Everyone was just calling for the head and saying the payper-view sucked and it was terrible.
Yeah.
And I didn't see it. I would agree with you. I would have shaved some matches off. I thought Swerve and Dusty, when that was announced, I said that's going to be a banger, and I thought that was just going to be a quick no contest type match, and they still went out and called one,
right,
and got a good showcase out of it.
Dustin Rhodes at 50 is still, or
he's fantastic,
still phenomenal,
so good. Yeah, you could take him. He could still help run a company right now at his age. He's still got it. But yeah, overall, Dynamite. AEW pay-per-view was fun. It was a great way to end off the year. It got me excited to tune in Wednesday to find out what's the backlash. Following the pay-per-view, MJF removed from AEW website, puts a tweet out essentially saying he's done. I'm all kayfabe, if I'm probably, we're going to be honest here. They remove all his merch. They remove all his likeness, everything. And I was like, all right, cool. We're gonna dive into a new storyline here. But let's get into now Monday Night Raw. Day one, BP. This is hyped up. New beginnings for WWE. We're going to get all new things, new start, new brand. Triple H has a chance we talked about it. It's Triple H's chance to really show his new side of the company. And we're going to go off, without a hitch. Raw didn't do it for me.
It was Raw is tough. WWE it's kind of becoming like NXT where, and just to jump back really quick, I think just one last thought on World's End. I think a lot of the negative reception came because of a few things. It was the taint of the whole Jericho situation. I think soured some people going into it. I think people were upset that MJF lost. And this is the problem with these mystery angles, the who's that masked man angle. It's that people will always think up something in their head, and if it's not the big thing that they thought it should have been, they're going to be angry about it. And,
totally agree.
And Adam Cole, I think the biggest criticism I saw of it was, it's too obvious. Well, yeah, it's too obvious because it makes sense. Yeah. It makes sense. It's fine. But yeah, to Raw, I thought the show was fine. I didn't think it was a blowaway show. I didn't think it was a stinker.
Yeah. I'm trying to, let me see what we got here. I'm trying to go back a little bit. I have someone in the Discord who goes back and recaps the entire show, so it's easier for me. There was something about this show that it started off with the Judgment Day thing. JD McDonough R-Truth thing was funny.
Oh yeah, I love that stuff. R-Truth is phenomenal.
Yeah, with the tagging, and they're gonna tag with each other, but the whole time R-Truth doesn't know what team he's on. Just R-Truth being an idiot, just very funny. I thought the Nia Jax Becky match was not good, and I don't think it was Nia's fault. Becky wrestled as if she never did it before, like the entire time, just never stopped, never took a second pause between spots into the next move, just wrestled like she was a ball of fire, and never really told a story. Like if you're going to wrestle that pace, then of course your strategy is to wear out the bigger opponent, but then she's just trying to scoop slam her and stuff. Like the match never felt like it got good. Like I actually was rooting for Nia to end it. I was like, just squash her. Let's get out of here.
Yeah,
like,
I was actually surprised. I guess they're getting some mileage out of this. This isn't going anywhere, this feud. So I was actually surprised that Nia got the win there.
Yeah, it was rough for me, man. I was bummed. I thought Becky did not have a good performance. And listen, at the end of the day, Becky's a gangster. Like, she's good at what she does. So having that stink on it was kind of a bummer.
Sometimes people don't click. Like, I was always disappointed in matches between Kevin Owens and AJ Styles, two great wrestlers.
Yeah,
but together it never really clicked.
Totally agree. Then I'm thinking we're gonna get a contender for Rhea, and it didn't quite pan out.
I love that match. I thought that match was yeah.
I never once for a second believed that girl was a contender, and then she just got mopped. But she just got mopped.
It's all about Rhea Ripley is the centerpiece of your division, and this is a showcase for Rhea. And yeah. I feel have her moment, but I thought Rhea looked amazing in that match.
Listen. Rhea clearly showed, even when she was taking offense, that she was the better wrestler and performer in the match.
Yeah,
Ivy looked like she still needs some time.
Ivy's a little green. Yeah, Ivy's a little green.
She should probably head back to NXT for a little bit, but they're struggling in that women's division, so that's probably why they moved her up. But
and this is also something where I know they've had. This is going back a while, but one of the people that's now involved with Endeavor that is overseeing WWE, part of TKO, I want to say it was Mark Shapiro, who is kind of I guess you could say either he or Vince is the number 2 in the company behind Ari Emanuel, probably Vince and then him.
Yeah.
But Mark Shapiro was talking about kind of scaling back the live event business, scaling back the house show business, and they would still do some non-televised shows, but not as many. And not in like smaller towns, but I think one of the things with house shows, as long as even if you're breaking even on them, it's a place where people can get reps. It's a place where people can get good. Dominic Mysterio got a lot better in 2023, and one of the reasons why is he wrestled over 100 matches.
Yeah, put a lot of work in. We need to get to a point though with Rhea. That we need someone to step up and start a storyline with her and be a believable contender, because I think it's getting to the point where it's getting a little stale. Like I need someone to like give her a storyline. It essentially, she's at a point like where China was. It was just like, we don't know what to do. We have no idea what to do with this girl. And if they're waiting till Rumble, like we gotta wait a little bit. But then we got a tag match where we had a legit injury. Drop kick from Kofi, and it knocked out what's his name from Imperium, Cole.
Ludwig Kaiser, I believe.
Yeah, and they stopped. No, not Kaiser, the other one.
Oh, Giovanni Vinci. Yeah,
it knocked him out cold, and they stopped immediately.
I was so glad to see that.
Yeah, I liked it. I don't like the injury. I like the fact they said, "Fuck it, it's not worth it. Cut it. Let's get it off TV. Let's stop everything. Protection of the wrestlers is important," and I like that move. We don't care if it's live TV. Health and safety is important. And honestly, it's kind of like one of the things we talk about the Sanctuary that I'm proud of when we're working the Sanctuary. If someone's hurt, dude, it ain't worth it. Just cut it. There's a lot more wrestling you can have in your career. There's no reason to be tough and try to fight through that.
And even if you want to kayfabe, but they kayfabed it fine. It was okay, he can't continue. He's injured. The doctor is stopping the match.
Yeah.
That's fine. Doctor stoppages have been around forever in wrestling.
Yeah.
That's how they used to protect champions that were losing, but they didn't want to lose a title. Like Bruno Sammartino lost a lot of matches from doctor stoppage and didn't lose the title.
Yeah.
Somehow that makes no sense to me now.
Yeah, I'm trying to rack my brain if there's anything else Raw wise that
your boy is back, Jinder Mahal.
Yeah, I was trying to, before we got to that, I was trying to think if there's anything else that I can think of.
The main event. The match was fine. The booking at the end was kind of wonky. Drew and Seth Rollins. I didn't like the fact that Drew did not need to lose another title match. I think that's now not just like the Universal title or the World Heavyweight title, but just in all title matches. He has lost since the last time he was champion during the pandemic. He has lost 12 straight title matches.
Yeah.
And usually for a while it was like, okay, we're turning him heel so he can afford to take the loss. But I mean, he's never been the same since he lost to Roman in Wales. And the heel turn, I think they did a better job. They did a better version of what they tried to do with Adam Cole, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit, where he was a heel that, and this is the old Michael Hayes thing, every heel should feel like they are justified. Every heel should feel in their heart of hearts that they are right, and they're doing the right thing. And Drew exemplified that. Drew did a great job of putting that over with his heel turn. And just to have him come up short again was tough. I understand they don't want to take the belt off of Rollins. I think it might be a good time. I don't think it seems like Punk Rollins is full speed ahead. I don't think that needs a title attached to it to be a big money match, to be a main event caliber match, unless they just want to put the title on Punk. And then to do the whole thing with the cash in, why didn't Damian Priest just cash in after the match? He's just standing there with Dom in the briefcase looking all angry. It's like, you can cash in at any time, dude.
This Money in the Bank has
been hit him now, and
has been rough. It's been rough the past 3 years.
I was gonna say, when was the last time the Money in the Bank cash in for the men's? The women's had some cool ones. The Liv Morgan title reign wasn't great, but the Liv Morgan cash in was cool.
Yeah.
Nikki ASH was cool. Remember that when she was almost a superhero?
Yeah.
That was cool. When was the last good men's Money in the Bank cash in? It's been a while. It's been a
long time.
Remember Otis had it for a minute and then he lost it to The Miz
for a sandwich. He traded it for a sandwich or something.
He got betrayed by his best friend Tucker, who then got fired immediately.
Yeah.
Who else? Last year was
Austin Theory, and we watched him cash.
Yes, live.
Yeah, and we left the arena. We walked out. We're like, we're done.
He cashed in for the U.S. title and lost. That's right. So and then the year before that, it was it Brock? No, Brock was a while ago. He cashed in
his Money in the Bank on a night he could have just challenged for the open title.
Yeah. Well, no, Bobby Lashley beat him to it. Who the hell was the last good one? The cool moment was Sheamus, I guess, when Sheamus cashed in on Roman.
That's the only one I can think of that really sticks out, was the heist of the century.
Oh, like the Seth Rollins one was the best of all time, but that was almost 10 years ago now.
It seems like that's the last good one we had.
It may have been the last good one. You're right on that. It may have been the last good one.
Let's see what we got here real fast. I just pulled up the old Wikipedia machine, so
I can't even remember who won it last year. Like, I know last year was Theory. I can't even remember who won it the year before.
Theory, not a good one. Big E had the briefcase, but it wasn't like it didn't have that oomph feel.
And then he had a title reign that was where they gave him nothing.
Yeah, it was an awful title run. Otis, bad.
No, Otis didn't even have. He lost it to The Miz, and The Miz cashed in on Drew.
Lesnar had it after that. No. That's when Ricochet was about to win the Money in the Bank, and then Brock just inserted himself in the match.
And then it was the ultimate dumb wrestling thing where Brock's music played. Ricochet's right there. He has time to grab it, but he's going to wait for Lesnar.
Braun Strowman's was pretty bad.
That was awful.
Corbin's was bad.
Yeah, Corbin got what? Corbin got rolled up by Cena, didn't he?
Yeah. Dean Ambrose.
That was a good one. That was a good one. That was That was when
So
all
2016
same night. Yeah.
2016 is probably the last relevant cash in.
Not a great run. Not a great run for the men's Money in the Bank. No.
Yeah, it's rough.
Although I did see as soon as they said it was Canada, they were saying like either Owens or Sammy should win it and cash in that night.
Sammy would be the perfect opportunity for a Money in the Bank. Like he can win it, he can cash in, get a world title under his belt, and he doesn't have to keep it very long.
They've just got those two so cold right now, cold,
ice cold.
But also, they also internally they tend to, and not every time. Like Dean Ambrose was a babyface, but they tend to see the Money in the Bank thing as a heel.
Heel thing. But Sammy's one of those guys, man. If you just give him TV time, he'll get back over.
Oh no, I think they should do more baby faces with Money in the Bank too. Yeah. Oh yeah. Sammy can always.
Do you think we go into 2024 possibly once these titles change hands? Do you think we still stick to long reigns for titles?
I don't know if we're gonna go as long. I think Triple H seems to like long title reigns, so I don't think you're gonna see it hot potato every other week, but. I don't think you're going to see
do you think two world champions a year is too much?
No, I think it depends. It depends. Like you have long-term champions and you have transitional champions. I love Samoa Joe. I think he's a transitional champion.
For sure.
I think he's hopefully. I think
like Gunther. If Gunther wins, he's a transitional end to put over a big baby face.
Yeah. It depends on, not every title reign's the same. Not every title reign has to be 3 years, because then that's not special.
Yeah.
But you don't want to go back to the Attitude Era where you had, I think because this is actually today, I believe.
I loved it though. I loved it.
It was either today or yesterday. I believe it's today is I want to say the 25 years ago, which makes me feel incredibly old.
Yeah.
25 years ago today was the Monday Nitro where Tony Schiavone says, we just got word that on the other show, Mick Foley, who used to wrestle here as Cactus Jack, is going to win their world title. That'll put asses in the seats. And immediately, they said they checked the Nielsen ratings. Immediately, like 400,000 people said, they're going to do a title change or Raw flip.
Yeah, imagine that. Imagine if you every now and then give us a title change on weekly television.
Yeah. Especially now because with Peacock, they are doing a good job of making the premium live events a little more special. And
here's what I said during my live stream: how much of it is the premium live events are special, or just weekly wrestling is so mediocre that when you finally get a pay-per-view, it makes it seem like it's that much better because weekly television is just the same rinse and repeat every single week.
Well, it depends on what your expectations.
You get a little bit of raw crackling and popping on your mic.
Oh,
I'm not sure if it's rubbing on anything or moving around.
I don't know what I did there. Any better?
You're good now, yeah.
It all depends on what your expectations of weekly TV are. Where it used to be weekly TV is there to sell your house shows, and then weekly TV was there to sell your pay-per-views, but now wrestling's a TV business, so yeah, you do want to have some stuff on weekly TV, but it's not that they're saving the title changes for the pay-per-views; they're just not changing titles.
Yeah.
What was the last title change? I think it was
tag team titles.
Okay. Who has those now? The Judgment Day. The
Judgment Day won them back off of Cody
and Jay. Yeah, and that was on Raw, right?
Yeah, that was the last title change we had on Raw. Did you see the meme I sent you on? I think I sent you on Instagram.
Yes,
it's like Cody talking to things like, "So awesome! I'm gonna win." Nope, not winning the title. You're gonna win it. You're gonna win a title. Oh, cool. Tag titles for a week.
Slow down. We're in like the 7th inning now or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we're playing extra innings, I think.
But I think most of the title changes this year, well, on Raw, they just haven't changed titles. Like, Gunther's been the Intercontinental Champion all year. Seth has been the only guy with the World Heavyweight.
Logan won a title at a pay-per-view. He won the U.S. title.
The U.S. That's SmackDown title. And Ray won that on TV. Ray beat Austin Theory on TV. So I think it's been an even split. It's just that they're not changing titles like they used to.
Was it around this time last year, the holiday tour, when AJ won a title at a house show at Madison Square Garden?
I think, was that last year or was it a few years ago? But
a few years ago, but it was around this time, like around holiday time, right?
Yeah, usually they do MSG like the day after Christmas, and I think I think AJ did. He beat like Kevin Owens, right, or something
like that. Yeah.
But yeah, AJ did win the U.S. title. That's the one that they seem to change quite a bit lately, just because and it's just that and this is kind of a wonky piece of booking, is that they decided to do all these long title reigns, like these record-setting title reigns, but they did them all at once.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have this really long Roman title reign. We're gonna have this really long Gunther title reign. We're gonna have this really long Usos tag title reign.
So the theory or the idea behind that, people think it's because they're like, oh, we want to change history books and get new people in the history books. How much do you think of that is legit, and how much you think of it is it's just the way the cookie crumbled?
I think it's part of it is that. But I mean, the Roman title reign for the Universal title, it's history making, but he's fourth. He's got the fourth longest title reign. I don't know if he was. I don't know how long Morales' title reign was, but Backlund's was longer. If you don't count that Inoki switch, and they don't. Hogan's was longer. Bruno's was longer. Bruno's second one was longer. Both of Bruno's were longer. Bruno's second reign was 4 years. But that's back when that was the thing you did. Back then you had long title reigns, especially in WWE or WWF. But I think it's to condition to the fans that the title's not going to change all the time. It's to, I think it was, and I think it has achieved this goal to kind of put more prestige on titles, because Roman is as meaningful a champion as they've had since probably Hulk Hogan. And the Intercontinental title is way more prestigious now than when Gunther won it. Gunther has done a ton for that title. And then the U.S. title, Logan Paul's a perfect guy for that now because it's everywhere. It was with Patrick Mahomes the other day. So he's getting that title places. So I understand why they've done it, but I think it is time to maybe be a little more fast and loose with the title reigns. I wouldn't. I still am of the opinion that Cody's probably going to win in the Mania this year. I would not take it off him anytime soon. Maybe like Survivor Series. I would give him at least like 6 months with it, just because you don't want to get
you. We gotta get you new XLR cables. That's cracking and popping like crazy.
Oh, geez.
You're good. We'll work through it. So we'll just kind of we'll finish Raw with this one here.
Can you mute me real quick? I'm going to try to make a quick adjustment.
Yep. So we had an announcement for a returning champion. I'm not going to try to insult your intelligence by talking it up. We all watched it. We all seen it. If you didn't see it, I'm sure you heard about it. It broke the internet in the wrestling world. But the champion came out, and it was Jinder Mahal. And then Jinder come out and cut a promo, and he had a few catchphrases in there. He kept throwing America out a lot. He kept saying, "Shut your mouth." He kept saying, "You people," like he just kept saying a lot of rockisms, and then then the rock music hits.
Any better now, by the way?
Yeah, I'll let you know. It doesn't happen. It's like hit and miss, but I
think it was like caught on something, so it might be better now.
Yeah. It was fine, I guess. I don't know. The more I watched it, the more uncomfortable I got. And the only reason I got uncomfortable, and I'm not trying to come off as woke or oversensitive or anything, but it's like, if your idea of wrestling is that it is everyone's inclusive, like it's a rough take. And the Rock tried to save it by like, we're not hating you because of your nationality or your skin color or anything like that. We hate you because you're an asshole. But he essentially did the same promo he did on SmackDown with Austin Theory. Like, this side of the arena is going to chant this side of it was really cut and paste, and it wasn't good. The
Rock was playing the hits.
Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. It made me feel uncomfortable. I don't know how much of it was just good acting by Jinder, or he didn't look comfortable with it. It just looked like he was just like, ugh, like this is what we're doing. And then they beat each other up, and then Rock says he's gonna go out for dinner. And should he sit at the table? Should he sit at the bar? Should he sit at the head of the table? And everyone, he said the thing. He said it, BP. It's officially happening. Is it a Mania match?
I don't think so. I think it's an Elimination Chamber match.
I agree. I know that he says this match is worth WrestleMania, but I feel like you had your opportunity and you didn't take it last year. To take a Mania spot this year is I don't think it's good. Like business wise, it's smart. It's The Rock, Roman, WrestleMania. It's fine. But for your diehard fans, it's like, is WWE taking a step backwards and doing everything that they always talked about they didn't want to be anymore? Like the pipe bomb. Like you have these guys who show up and then just walk in and take the main event seat. Like honestly, I hope Punk's promo on Monday is like, yo, look at this shit. You know what I mean? Like I hope he addresses it.
I don't really so much mind that, just because it's The Rock. He's not just one of the biggest stars of wrestling. He's one of the biggest stars in the world.
Don't give a shit.
Like people, I mean, if the modern wrestling audience was the first WrestleMania, they'd be like, why is Mr. T getting a spot in the main event? Because he's on the A team. He's one of the biggest stars in the world. He was in Rocky 3.
Yeah.
It's what WrestleMania is. And The Rock is a wrestler. Rock, Lawrence Taylor was in the main event of WrestleMania. It's what WrestleMania is. It's spectacle, and The Rock is a star. But I don't think putting obviously anytime The Rock gets in the ring, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be for this Elimination Chamber. I think that from what I understand, the people in Australia wanted The Rock on the show. I believe it's one of those things where they're forget the money they're going to make from being in a 60,000 seat stadium. Like they're not going to an arena. Like the Elimination Chamber is going to be in a stadium.
Yeah.
And I really do think that that there's enough money involved in it and The Rock may have an opening in his schedule. And
is it a way to say, okay, like Americans, New Japan is starting at 2 a.m. The Rock's wrestling Roman, stay up. Like, you think it's like to try to get people to watch it live and not watch next day?
That show will be early. Or even like maybe even they say the main event's happening at 8 o'clock in the morning, our time. So get up early to watch The Rock versus Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. It could be the Mania match. I don't think it is, just because
I hope it's not.
I mean, if it is, it is. It's like
it would take a lot of the wind out of the sails for me for Mania.
I mean, it's the biggest match you can possibly do, as far as like from a mainstream.
And here's another thing that people are clamoring for: Rock wrestles 2 nights. He's main event night 1 and main event night 2, and it's like, how do you not work all year and then take 2 main event spots?
You mean Roman?
Yeah, Roman. Sorry, Roman.
I don't the earn your spot thing. You know how you earn your spot? By drawing a lot of money. That's how you earn your spot. The Rock draws a lot of money.
So does Punk. So does Cody.
It's a business. It's a business, and you're going to put the bigger star in the main event.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. It would be like, oh well, we should have this extra because this extra did a lot of work all year. Let's make him the star of the movie and not Ben Affleck. That's not how the entertainment business
I get, but I think that analogy is a little off when it comes to trying to compare it to wrestling. It's like, I don't know, man. It's just like
WWE, they're gonna say we're not wrestling, we're entertainment.
I get it. I get that. But it's like, all right, you don't bench your quarterback the weekend of the Super Bowl because your Hall of Fame quarterback from 4 years ago comes out of retirement. I
think if Tom Brady called up the Patriots like, hey, I'm suiting up there, would be like, yeah, you're right. But no, it's because that's a sport and this is entertainment.
Yeah.
This is entertainment. It's all about drawing money. That's what the business is about.
So eat your shit sandwich, Cody fans. Rock is taking over.
I still don't think he is though. With The Rock, it's going to be, when is it going to fit into his schedule, because he's really busy. I don't know if it's going to be an actual match, like a full-fledged match, because for one thing, The Rock got blown up doing the people's elbow. That's a big thing. The Rock is 50 or 51 years old now, I think, or in his late 40s. And the last time The Rock had a full match, I'm not counting that one with Eric Rowan, but the last Rock Cena 2 at WrestleMania 29, he tore up his abdominals and it delayed a movie. and I don't think he's going to do any.
Do you think if Rock goes out and shits the bed, the diehards are going to accept it? Oh, they'll just be like, it was a good match.
No, I probably not.
They'll just accept it.
And they could do enough smoke and mirrors and gaga that you can make an acceptable match. And and it's not like people are going to see The Rock and Roman Reigns and expect it to be Bryan Danielson and Okada or something like that.
All right, well, let's get off Monday Night Raw. We'll kind of go through NXT real quick. We had the Women's Championship, Laya take on Blair Davenport in the opening match, Women's Championship. No title change here, and I was like, oh man, if we're gonna start with the Women's Championship, we're gonna be in for a good show here. The main event should be fine. The LWO took on No Quarter Catch. That was a fine match. It didn't do a lot.
This is one of the few things I did see from NXT is. I always forget his name in WWE. Zema Ion, Joaquin Wilde, just getting launched by the other two guys.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. Do you think guys like Rocket are watching that? Like,
I forget. I forget where I saw this. Where somebody said, "Yeah, that is the early front runner for the most copied spot of 2024."
Yeah,
100%. That rocket launcher spot they did, but also I fear for that because. I know how infrequently people in the indies are caught on dives. So if you don't get caught on that, that's not going to be a fun ending.
That's going to be a bad night. Roxanne Perez takes on Ari and Grace, which is I learned to be Santino Marella's daughter.
That is Santino Marella's daughter. Yep.
Looked fine. It was fine. Then we got
very new.
We got Tiffany Stratton versus Fallon Henley. And the stipulation is if Fallon wins. Tiffany Stratton has to work on the farm for a week, and if Stratton wins, she is Stratton's slave. But they are 100% trying to rewash.
Time out.
She's her servant.
Okay, because I was like,
it's a slave.
You're worried about the whole gender thing, but they're having a slavery match.
They're white. It's fine. Nobody cares. But
this is my issue with NXT. Like a lot of talent, a lot of promising people, and then. There's just going to be one thing in a show. Every episode, there's going to be at least one thing that's just
the vignettes they're going to shoot of Tiffany Stratton scooping up horse poop is going to be chuckle. Yeah,
they did it. Yeah, they did it a few years ago with Cameron Grimes and LA Knight. Yeah,
I can actually see them making Tiffany Stratton and Fallon Henley like frenemy tag team, like they become a tag team together.
Why is Tiffany Stratton still in NXT?
I don't know. But fine match. I think they're both insanely talented. I honestly like Tiffany Stratton, but I really like Fallon Henley. Like I'm getting like Tiffany Stratton is your Charlotte Flair meets your Tiff Stratus, and Fallon Henley is like your Bailey meets Mickie James. Like they are two hybrids of like two big people of their area smashed into one. I think both of them are going to be really, really special in the future of the women's division. It was really good. This was surprisingly a really fun match. The men's breakout tournament.
Okay, this is my guy. Yeah, this is my guy.
I liked both of them. I really like Riley Osborne and I really like Oba Femi. Really good match. It did like a lot of people said they didn't enjoy it, but I think both of them are insanely charismatic. And the whole Riley thing with if I get Thea Hale on screen, I'm in. So her like crushing on him is a lot of fun. But
I just like big guys that throw people around, and that's Oba Femi.
Yeah, and his facial expressions are great.
I saw a promo with the two. His promos are pretty good.
Yeah, I'm excited for that guy. NXT is gonna have a good one there. And then you think to yourself, awesome. Main event, Dragunov, he's hurt. They're doing this whole Ridge Holland broke my neck thing. Don't like it. I hate it. But the last week he took his neck brace off. He goes, I'm still gonna wrestle you, Trick. And then halfway through the show, like, yo, he's not wrestling. So we're gonna change it up. And now Trick is going to wrestle
Grayson
Waller, yes. And the match goes on and it's fine. Trick's really good. Grayson's really good, but it's not what we wanted. And then all of a sudden, Kevin Owens shows up.
Well, he's feuded with Waller on SmackDown.
Yeah, but it was weird. I don't know. It is what it is. Overall, the show wasn't terrible. I'm still sticking with NXT on Tuesdays on my live streams to see what I think about it and just trying to see how it goes. But overall, it was fine. It was fine.
I just want more gifts of Oba Femi smacking people in the chest and throwing them around like rag dolls. That's good stuff.
So we'll get into AEW. The show starts with Samoa Joe cutting a promo. Essentially, I thought it was a good promo. Essentially, Joe saying like, "This is my shit."
Joe's a very underrated talker.
Yeah. I kind of felt like leaning into tonight was going to be a lot of talking. And that was kind of the way it was going to go.
Exact opposite.
And they did. They start off with that. Then they start off with the Adam Cole promo, which I thought the Adam Cole promo was good too. He justified why he did what he did. He's like, I did it before he did it to me. This guy's been a scumbag this whole time. Like,
why did they do it in London then? You could have won the title yourself, Adam. Do it then. Do it then.
Don't make sense with it. Don't make sense with it. All right. Because merch sales were good. You know what I mean? Anyway. But the only thing I think that Undisputed Era music or Undisputed Kingdom music, it's just a guitar riff. I need a little something else to it. It's a really bland song.
I think what they're doing there, and I don't hate it, is they know that if they keep Adam Cole's music to what it is, that people love doing the Adam Cole baby. They love all that, the boom. They want to make it so that you don't chant along with him. They don't. I think they don't want him to be Chris Jericho, where even when he's a heel, they like to sing along to his theme song.
That checks out.
I think they just want to make him just pure heel.
And
I guess the explanation was fine. I don't like the whole. The only thing I didn't like from the whole explanation, the whole angle, is Wardlow is finally with a group that respects him, and he's going to win the world title and hand it to me.
Yeah,
which is the exact same angle you just did with Christian.
Agreed.
Exact same
and it's the exact same angle that they did with MJF and Wardlow.
Yeah.
So, but Wardlow kind of gave that look like, sure I am. So like Wardlow already planted the seed, like I'm just here to get what I want.
He just turned heel and you're already teasing a babyface turn immediately.
I don't know if he's going babyface, but he made it very clear that he's not putting up with this shit.
If he turns on Adam Cole, he's a babyface.
He's just getting what he wants. So then we get that Orange Cassidy versus Dante Martin. I loved it. I thought that was a lot of fun. Actually, real quick before we get away from this segment, another thing I really enjoyed about this, I think my lights just turned off. Yeah, my one color light just turned off. Is that they made sense with the Devils went through and had a lot of casualties at the expense of going after MJF.
Yeah,
and everyone that was a casualty, that's like yo, you don't just get by with that. We're coming for you. You came after us. So I kind of like that.
He's a little babyface turn for Bullet Club.
Yeah. Is it? I don't know if it's so much babyface of just making the story make sense that they're just not going to take getting jumped.
Yeah. Well, AEW is not very good at differentiating between their baby faces and their heels either.
And honestly, like I don't like that old school traditional babyface heel thing. I don't think those lines. I kind of like that those lines are kind of blurred and they're not really that defined. And I just kind of like that you go out and it's not so much a babyface heel babyface. It's like, no, you guys beat me up so you can get to your boy. Yeah, we're still bad guys and we're not going to take that shit. We're coming for you. And you know what I mean? Like I like that.
But it's not so much that they do that. It's that guys are baby faces when it's convenient for the story, and they're heels when it's convenient for the story. And there's a difference.
Yeah, because I don't know. All I'm saying is, if you jump me, and then you think, okay, because you got what you want out of that deal, and I'm just gonna take that, like you're mistaken. I'm coming for you. Like you're not just gonna beat me up and like Roman cheated every single match, and after he wins, the person that clearly got cheated out of their victory was just like, nah, I lost. Let me move on. It's like, no, you gotta die.
They have to move on because Roman's not going to be on TV for another 2 months.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do? Just wait around? Like, I was here this week. No, damn it.
Yeah, pretty much. So Orange Cassidy and Dante Martin go for a title, the All Atlantic Championship. I loved it. I thought it was fun. Then we have a little bit of weirdness there towards the end, but it's weird. It didn't really make sense. Even Orange Cassidy rolled out and said, I'm not a tag team, so I'm out of here. But Private Party showed back up, and they kind of set up going into the 2024 that we got some established young tag teams that are going to start competing for the tag team titles again, which is kind of exciting. 2023 was not a good year for tag teams. So if they're going to bring back, your Top Flight, your Lucha Bros, your like I think we're gonna get Jungle Express back. I think at some point in time.
Maybe.
I think Adam Copeland and Edge will probably be a tag team at some point this year if this storyline, if they do a flip flop with the story. But there's a lot of tag teams and Private Party coming back and is going to make a lot of fun for this year when it comes to that side of things.
The only criticism of that was it seemed like very muddled and messy because you were doing a thing where I'm sorry, I think I'm actually conflating two different segments. My mistake. I was conflating the segment with the Acclaim, where like that's kind of like a trios thing because they have trios titles.
Yeah,
and that's more of the tag team thing.
Yeah, well, the Bullet Club Gold kind of is looking at the trio titles possibly.
Well, yeah, and also possibly Roddy and the Kingdom, even though the Kingdom already have the ROH titles.
Yeah. So then we had Toni Storm backstage essentially saying she's going to go have a seance and go to Broadway and she's out of here. She's leaving.
Yeah.
Scoop me up, chin up, tits out, watch the shoe, and she leaves.
I thought it was going to be in New York, but we're in New Jersey. No.
Good for Mariah May. She's got to pay her dues, especially wrestling in Jersey.
I do think that ultimately that's a babyface character. Like no matter what you do, they're not going to boo Toni Storm. The character is too entertaining.
Did you see what she said at the press conference?
Yeah,
where she's like, "There's a match out there with money written all over it," and then she's like, one of the old Glow stars, where it's like, "I'm gonna fuck you up."
Yeah. Speaking of that, that's another rumor that Trinity Fatu could be headed back to WWE very soon.
I see that as a possibility, a very likely possibility. But Swerve Strickland and Prince Nana backstage said, he pretty much says straight up, Garcia, I'm looking straight past you, and I want you, Samoa Joe. And so essentially every single title, every single picture, every single facet of the company, we got to look tonight in the first show of the new year of who's looking for what titles, what we're doing going forward. I think overall AEW is telling me what I need to know as a fan, that like this person's going to seek out this title. This person's going for this. I'm excited. I like what I'm hearing after that segment. Then we do get Mariah May beating Queen Amadada, or I can never say her name, Amatina. I'm sorry if I said it wrong. I apologize. Yeah. Not a great showcasing. It wasn't my favorite match, but it got the job done. I wish they would have played into it more where like Toni Storm left and she played off. I was like, I don't care. She should have been like, what? Like she left. She didn't even watch. Like, I wish they would have played into that more with the story, but then the music hits and it's not Mercedes Moné. In my opinion, BP, I don't care where she goes. If she goes and she has a good story, I'm excited for her. I'm not a giant Sasha Banks fan. Her match styles, the match structure, I'm not a huge fan of. She kind of reminds me of Darby, where she kind of gets her ass kicked for 45 minutes and then does a bunch of roll-up pins for offense, hits her finishing move and wins. It doesn't do it for me.
I love her when she's wrestling as a heel.
Yeah,
I am not the biggest fan of her when she's a babyface because of exactly that.
But if you look at, she wants $25 million, and you can go snatch up like 6 other people for that same, you know what I mean? Like I much rather them go out and snatch up just who they snatch up here. The virtuoso, Deonna Purrazzo is all elite. And she immediately calls out Toni Storm. I think Deonna Purrazzo has a lot more upside and future in her career. No offense to the Mercedes Moné right now. And I'm trying
I love Deonna Purrazzo. I think she's a great wrestler. Mercedes Moné is a star and a draw, and that is important.
I don't think she's that much of a draw. I think if you go watch her, we were kind of talking about this on the live stream. Her match that's on YouTube for free has 12,000 views. Right. Her versus Willow, 12,000 views. She doesn't have the draw power she thinks she does. A match of Charlotte on Raw is triple that.
Yeah, but it's also the WWE marketing machine versus the New Japan.
Doesn't matter. If you're a draw, you're a draw. If people want to see you, it doesn't matter who you're behind. They want you.
If we were promoting a show tomorrow and you put Mercedes Moné on the bill and you put Deonna Purrazzo on the bill, who do you think is going to sell more tickets?
Out of those two?
Yes.
I think people would go see Mercedes because they want to see where she's going to go. But I think a lot of fans...
I'm not saying that. I'm saying a month from now, we're gonna run a show. They're gonna let us run a show at Mart's Hall in Pottsville. Yeah. We're running a show in Philly, and for our main event, you can either have Deonna Purrazzo or you can have Mercedes Moné. Forget about the money. Forget about all that stuff. Who are you going to put on the bill that's going to sell more tickets?
Mercedes is going to sell more tickets.
Yes,
over Deonna. But I'm looking at it from a company standpoint of she was a champion twice, had to lose titles and walked out of the company. I want a team. I want a team player. I don't know. I hope she turns it around. I hope we really find out the truth of why she left and everything like that. But every time she's asked, she barks down fans' throats and treats them like shit when they're paying normal prices to stand in her line and meet her at meet and greets. I just think, I met Deonna Purrazzo, and I think she's a sweetheart, and I think she's a class act, and I think she's a good human. And I'm excited for her, and I'm excited for her in all elite.
She's an incredible wrestler. She
is very, very
really
talented.
Good wrestler. No, I am not saying any of this. Like, I think it's a great signing. I think Mercedes helps put you on the map a little more because it's that ex-WWE cred. And not just ex-WWE. She main evented, I know it was night one, but she main evented WrestleMania. It's not like, it's not, and that's not to diminish anything about Deonna Purrazzo. Phenomenal wrestler. If you use her right, she can be a cornerstone of that division. Easily. And in my personal experience, very easy to work with.
Love her.
Incredibly easy to
nice.
work with. But yeah, it's a little bit of a different stratosphere when it comes to drawing power.
Then we got the Christian Cage promo. I thought this was insanely entertaining. I love it. The apple of my eye, Nick Wayne. And when I'm done with this title, I'm just gonna give it to this guy because I love him that much. And last but not least, I want to thank myself. And he completely leaves Killshot out. He sells it perfectly. The crowd, dude. Christian Cage got a Luchasaurus chant. Like,
yeah, but that's not his name though.
It is. It's gonna be. He's coming back, baby. He's coming back. I like Luchasaurus. I don't mind him. I think he's a fun character. I think the mask is cool.
Luchasaurus is whatever, but right now he's Killshot the dinosaur.
Yeah, he's Killshot the dinosaur. But I love Christian Cage. If you'd have told me in 2024 Christian Cage is going to come to a company, become a champion, and he's going to be one of the more entertaining people in the company, I would have said you're fucking nuts, and he's killing it.
I've always been a fan.
So good. And Steven says here, I'm not ignoring the chat. I'm just keeping our flow going. I will start reading some of your chats towards the end. I'm not ignoring everybody, but this is a podcast format, not so much the live stream format. So I appreciate you being in the chat and talking to each other, and we are reading it, but we're trying to keep the flow of the podcast going here as well. But I thank you. I love you all so much. I hope you're hitting like and subscribe if you're new here, and hope you're having a good time. The engagement's fantastic. But Christian Cage is killing it. But next match here, we had a little bit of backstage thing, not really that important. Next match, Takeshita versus Darby. Darby does nothing for me in the ring. This dude got squashed. He essentially went out and got absolutely squashed. He had 3 moves of offense because I overwatch his matches and over criticize them because he usually gets his ass kicked for 48 minutes, does 3 moves and wins. And I don't know how no one says that's a problem. Like, it's just, there's no ring psychology. Darby matches don't do it for me. So we're just going to move. Go ahead.
I wonder if they're heating Takeshita up for somebody.
I think Takesh is awesome.
He's great.
We had the number 1 contender for the AEW Continental Classic, Brian Cage, Viking Eltidio, some guy I wasn't really sure who he was.
I can't think of his name. Brian Keith. Yeah, he is. It seems like he's going to get signed by them relatively soon. Brian Keith is. He's done some stuff with like GCW. He's done some stuff with he's a rising star on the indies.
Yeah,
and he is. I think he's a pretty good talent.
Trent was in the match. I thought Trent looked really good too. I thought he's really kind of hitting a gear. Fine match. It's probably none of them that I was really looking forward to see. Going for like Trent versus Kingston's gonna be fun, but nothing as of right now that has me losing my mind. Then we get, which is when they announced as the main event, I got super excited because I like both these guys. And I think they're both insanely talented, and I couldn't wait to see this matchup. And I wanted a dance off, and we got it. But Daniel Garcia versus Swerve Strickland. If you really look, and we were kind of talking about it maybe a previous show, but you have Swerve Strickland, you got MJF, you got Nick Wayne, Wheeler Yuta, Daniel Garcia, Billy Starks, all these like young names in this company, man.
Yeah.
And it's promising. And Daniel Garcia is someone I've said when they first signed him, I think this guy, we've seen him live. He's on a different level. He's a guy that you can like build your future off of. And I think the storyline they're telling with him between a sports entertainer and a wrestler, and he's kind of doing these upsets and he's finding himself in front of an audience. He has charisma. Like he has low key charisma that he's slowly leaking out there.
I think that sports entertainment, that Jericho Appreciation Society, that was where people with momentum went to die for me. Like it was like Garcia was red hot when he beat Bryan Danielson. They're calling him the Dragon Slayer, and then he just became another one of Jericho's lackeys.
Yeah, Jericho will do that to you sometimes.
When was the last time a guy worked with Jericho and came out of it for the better? So I literally think it was Orange Cassidy during the pandemic.
Action Andretti.
One match. and how quickly did that fade away? Now he's the guy that can drink water really fast.
Yeah, unfortunately, an injury happened, and I honestly think they're going to be contenders for the trio championships.
Yeah, unfortunately, an injury happened, and they just made him Dante Martin.
Yeah,
like
I don't hate it though. I actually like them at Top Flight.
Well,
I really like Top Flight as a trio of those three.
Yeah, I enjoy them. Yeah, like they're exciting. They do a lot of great athletic stuff. But
yeah,
I think they're just missing like that je ne sais quoi. They need that spark. They just need that little something that's going to help them connect with the crowd a little bit better. And I know personally, like Andretti can talk. Like he's a good promo. Like
when you get him.
Shots fired. Okay.
He's hard to find. He's a hard to find guy backstage.
No, he's easy to find if you know where to look.
Yeah, very true. Outside with Brian Kendrick.
You can smell him from a mile away.
he's Top Flight, all right. He's up there. He's high up there. Yep. Yeah. So then the match happens. I don't think Daddy Magic was supposed to get involved. But he jumped in the ring, and then Swerve's like, get the fuck out. Because as soon as he runs out, Hangman Adam Page runs down, who shows up 4 hours late for the show.
Yeah, well, he's a drinker.
I don't like that Hangman's inserting himself here again.
Yeah, I think it delays. I think people are expecting Joe to swerve. I think there might be a champion between it. It might even be Hangman. Because if they do Swerve Hangman 3, Hangman's winning. I don't think they're gonna have Swerve beat him 3 times.
Yeah, and I don't like that. I want Hangman to kind of fuck off, like go away for a little bit, dude. Like, I don't know. I don't know. That was the only part of the show that kind of ruined it for me. That's pretty much it for us this week. When it comes to week wrestling, we'll talk about real quick some Japan, but we are getting to that hour mark. Yep. Other news that's going on: Mercedes Moné, it's still up in the air. So now they're saying she's going to WWE. Then they're saying WWE don't want her. Now she's going to AEW. It's back and forth. I don't think the only way I'll say I think I'm leaning more towards the WWE for Sasha, for Mercedes, is they took her music down for Japan off iTunes, and WWE just put a whole thing about her up on their internet page again. Like they're showcasing Sasha Banks. They're doing like they like the same thing they did with CM Punk like a week before they signed him. They like put stuff up all of their stuff on the website. I'm gonna assume Sasha Banks will be going back to WWE, but I still think she's going back to WWE as Mercedes Moné. I think that's part of the deal.
It's possible. I just know they're not a big fan, and I mean they'll make exceptions. They made one for Cody Rhodes. They're not a big fans of having you do a gimmick that they don't own.
Yeah,
but they make exceptions.
Yeah. So let's kind of roll through. I didn't see this topic. You said you watched it before the show. Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah. So I mean, New Japan is not at its peak anymore. Like this attrition. Some guys went to WWE, some guys went to AEW, but the Tokyo Dome is the one time I still will really jump into New Japan for sure. Wrestle Kingdom. The big matches at the top here were
real quick before you get into the big match. Watch the pre-show. That Battle Royal took me out of it.
It's called a Rambo for one thing.
Yikes!
And it's not. They're never good. The Rambo was only good when Cheeseburger used to always be in it.
Well, here's the thing. I would have probably enjoyed it more if I knew the characters, because there's like obviously a lot of character stuff in there and callbacks. I don't know any of them. All I know is there was a guy in that Rumble who is my favorite guy in Japan. I think he looks fucking awesome, and he should be the world champion. And he's just I
think I know who this is going to be.
Who's it do with the Nelly paint, the Band-Aid on his eye with the long rat tail,
Great O'Con. Great O'Con.
No. He's a Bullet Club guy.
Oh,
shredded.
Hanare?
No. If you say his name, I'll get it. They'll say it in the chat. Somebody will say it in the chat.
Is he American?
No, he's Japanese. He came out towards the end.
I actually didn't catch the Rambo.
Oh, I forget his name. He's the Bullet Club guy. He used to be the champion. He lost at last Wrestle Kingdom to the guy who looks like fake.
Not Evil.
No, he lost. He lost. It's not a main title. It's one of the smaller titles. But he lost to the
Taiji Ishimori, Bone Soldier.
Yes, Ishimori.
He's a junior, or at least he used to be.
Yeah, he's awesome. He looks cool. He has a cool look. I think he's good in the ring. Then the next match I seen was I forget the TJP with that like spooky mask. That was kind of cool mask. But and then I'm gonna be honest, man. Japanese Hulk Hogan does not do it for me. Goes out and wins the only title he hasn't won, and then he's like, "Everyone, please enjoy the show, even though I'm no longer on it." Like I was like, "What is this guy doing?" I don't know.
Do not disrespect my president.
He sucks.
Do not disrespect my president.
I don't like him.
He's not. Time has not been. That guy has put his body through a lot. But
I guess but,
Tanahashi is.
I have to go back and rewatch because right now I'm just not into it.
Tanahashi. Well, his best days are behind him as an in-ring performer.
Yeah, and then after that is when I completely passed out and I didn't see anything. So from here on out, you're taking over.
Tanahashi is basically kind of in that old like Kojima Nagata spot where he's the kind of the veteran now. So after that, you had Yuya Uemura and Yota Tsuji, a tag team match, which the House of Torture defeated. This is something you can easily skip. House of Torture defeated Keita Kiyomiya and Shota Umino, who is going to be good, but that was not a great showcase for him. Shota Umino is actually the son of their main referee, Red Shoes.
Oh, okay.
And then you kind of get into the bigger matches. So Shingo Takagi lost the Never Openweight title to Tama Tonga, who then said he's finishing up with New Japan this month, and he's headed to America to wrestle. I don't know where, but he won a title.
Bloodline?
Possibly. He is.
We're only in the seventh inning. Bring more Bloodline in.
Not Samoan, but he's Samoan adjacent. He's Haku's son.
Yeah.
And then for the tag titles, the Guerrillas of Destiny, Phantasmo and Hikuleo, they beat Bishamon, who has been like the dominant tag team in New Japan for the past year or so. And then you got into the kind of the showcase matches, and there's the matches that are a little more relevant for the US. The global heavyweight title, which is yet another title. They're just as bad as AEW with too many damn
global
titles.
They just took the US title, turned it to the UK, then turned the UK into the global.
I thought that was a TV title, but okay. I haven't been as plugged into New Japan this year as I usually am.
That's what they were telling me in the Discord, is that the used to be the UK title was the US title.
Right.
Ospreay won it, then changed it from US to UK.
Right,
you're
right.
And then they said, now we're just going to make this like a global champion.
And then it's going to be the Legends title. They're going reverse TNA.
Yeah.
But that was David Finlay defeated Moxley and Will
Ospreay. Who looks like a less buff Adam Cole, but in the face looks like Channing Tatum.
Wait, less buff Adam Cole?
Yeah, he has no muscle definition.
Neither does Adam Cole.
I know, and it's less than Adam Cole.
I don't know about that.
But his face looks like Channing Tatum. He's a good-looking guy.
If Adam Cole were any less big, he would be two-dimensional.
Well, Finley's not too far behind them.
And
Japan works one show a month. Hit the gym a little bit.
He does other stuff. He was actually at XW last year.
Really?
And the big thing here, well, the spot that's going viral is Finlay going through the table or being put through the table, but only the middle of the table broke, so it's kind of like just his ass goes through.
Yeah.
It's like he was assimilated into the table.
Dude, I did not like John Moxley wearing a superhero mask.
No,
for some reason, it did not feel like John Moxley to me.
He was the last guy I thought would have done a comic book analogy, but did the Red Hood thing.
Hated it.
But the big angle here is that during the show, Nick Nemeth, former Dolph Ziggler, came out into the crowd. He had words with David Finlay. So it looks like that's going to be the next match for the global title. They even did
wherever Ziggler goes, I go. That guy is money.
They even did a thing, and it's hilarious. And this probably was all him, where he jumped over the table and attacked Finlay during the press conference. And somebody showed it was like shot for shot. Have you seen the thing yet of the guy who got sentenced in Nevada?
Yeah,
and
he like choked out the judge.
And that's exactly what Nick Nemeth did.
Yeah,
and his brother was there for some reason. His brother, what's Patrick Mahomes' brother's name? Jackson Mahomes. Ryan Nemeth is the Jackson Mahomes of professional wrestling.
Here's a question for you: do you think he beats down Finlay, and do you think Nemeth could be the new leader of the Bullet Club?
Why not? It's the Bullet Club.
I think he's talented enough to be a leader.
Nobody's cared about the Bullet Club in years. Why not? Fine.
Unless they're gold.
Nobody's cared about the Bullet Club for years.
You stop it. Bullet Club is awesome.
Ace
Austin's a Bullet Club. We still love it.
I like Ace Austin.
Yeah.
I like
Chris Bay.
But yeah, that was kind of the function of the Bullet Club. It was the American style group. So usually whoever unless in the beginning it was more Finn Balor or Prince Devitt, but since then it's been usually your American guy, your top American guy is going to be involved, or your top Gaijin non-Japanese guy is going to be involved, and then it kind of, I don't even know who the leader is now. The Bullet Club is.
I thought Finlay is one of the leaders.
I believe he is. Yeah. And then the two. I guess you could call it a double main event. Like you had the U.S. main event, and then you had the U.S. main event, and then you had the Japanese main event. And your next match was Kazuchika Okada, Bryan Danielson 2. Better than
Danielson in Japan in the Tokyo Dome.
Before that bell rang, you could see just how giddy he was. He couldn't contain it. How giddy he was to have a showcase match at the Tokyo Dome on January 4th. And they did a much better job. I mean, obviously it's easier to do a really good match if you don't break your arm halfway through.
Yeah.
But then that played into it. That was the psychology of the match. The psychology of the match was Okada broke my arm. I'm going to try to break his. And the entire match was Danielson just viciously attacking Okada's arm. And then the psychology behind that is, will Okada still be able to hit the Rainmaker if he has a bad arm? And that is the epitome of a match telling a story. And that match was phenomenal. And
match of the year?
So far, yeah, of what I've seen. It was certainly better than anything on Dynamite or Raw, and that's all I've really seen this year. And then the main event, which was also very, very good, was Sonata defending the IWGP World Title against Tetsuya Naito. Naito is the leader of Los Ingobernables de Japón, and Sonata used to be part of the group, broke out on his own, won the IWGP World Title, and the storyline here is Naito's time might be running out. He's beat up. He's getting older. He's 41 years old. And they had a pretty good match. And Naito was once again the IWGP World Champion. And he's won it at the Dome before, but he would always get attacked or something would happen where he couldn't kind of do his whole spiel at the end. And finally, this year he did it because he was attacked by Evil. Unfortunately, that's going to be his first challenger. I'm not a fan of Evil.
Okay. Evil is EO's husband, right?
Yes. Yeah. He is. He is also in that group before, and then he was the leader of the Bullet Club for a bit. Yeah. But he attacked Naito after the match, but then Sonata made the save, and Naito was able to walk out tall. You'll have a better idea of what's going on with New Japan tomorrow because they're doing a show tonight. 4 a.m, our time, 4 a.m, but tonight in Japan time, New Year's Dash is where they always kind of set up the angles for the year. It's always like if somebody's getting jumped out of a club, if somebody's going to do something, they almost always do it in New Year's Dash. It's kind of setting the table for the next at least few months, like leading into Dominion, which is like their SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Everything from here to Dominion is going to be set up by New Year's Dash.
Yeah. Well, that's going to do it for this week in wrestling. Make sure you guys tune in next week. We will be talking about Friday Night SmackDown, which will be airing tomorrow, Rampage, Collision, and then we'll be picking up with Raw, NXT, AEW, and then we'll be back here next Thursday for This Week in Wrestling. If you want to hang out, if you're sitting there at your house and you're bored and you're watching wrestling, I do watch-alongs. I call them watch parties. I call them hangouts. It's just sometimes we don't even talk about, we just watch wrestling and we chill and we talk about video games and movies, whatever the conversation may be. They're live on YouTube. They're a lot of fun. Come over and hang out. I'm live like almost every day of the week on my YouTube channel, so make sure you come and chill with us. Also, content-wise, Matt Makowski interview. Thank you for being the end of season 1. Guys out there killing it. Bringing in season 2, Chris O'Malley, half the commentary team at 3 Legacies Wrestling. Make sure you go check out that interview. Out right now, Cowboy Bad Billy Walker, 5 questions with ABJ.
Still don't know how you survived that one.
And then we have a new logo for 5 questions with ABJ, the little 5Q done by Witchcraft at Lily. That merchandise is up. So if you want to go get your 5 questions with ABJ merchandise, go ahead and do so. Content's been doing great. Thank you guys. Actually, real quick, BP, it's kind of depressing because the podcast numbers have not been awesome. I'm going to be honest. A lot of people are not into the podcast thing. It's hard to grow when people aren't into the Northeast wrestling scene. You know what I mean? It's a small niche market. I still enjoy doing it, but these watch-alongs have been doing really, really well. These Tornado Tag episodes are breaking 100 plays every week. The audio numbers are doing great for Tornado Tag over on the audio side of things. So people enjoy the mainstream wrestling content. So we will keep it coming for you. Thank you guys so much. If you are listening to this on the audio platform, leave a review or a like over on Spotify or Apple, wherever you do watch. And that's pretty much all I got for my plugs, BP. What do you got?
So I have not this weekend, but next weekend. Thankfully, not this weekend because we're gonna get some snow. But next Saturday, the 13th,
and I'll be there with you.
Yeah, there you go. PPW is coming to Slatington, Pennsylvania again. Just now today, speaking of guests on ABJ podcast, I believe one of your most recent guests, Journey Burke, making her PPW debut. Simone Valentina, I think she mainly wrestles in like the DC, Maryland scene. I think she's out of DC. She debuted with PPW back in December, and I've said this before, but if you are an aspiring indie wrestler, I think one of the things that if you're able to do it that can really set you apart is to learn to be a really good baby face. I think indie wrestling has a lot of incredible heels, like your Darius Carters, people like that. The Mecha Brian Johnson's an incredible heel. But if you can be a baby face, that it is such a rare quality of a strong baby face on the indie scene. And I bring it up because Simone Valentina and Journey Burke, for that matter, from what
she can do both. Journey's very versatile.
But Simone Valentina, I've only seen as a baby face, and she is a good one. She is a really good one. So that's going to be a fun match. And then we did also recently announce the main event for that show. 4-way for the heavyweight title.
Wow.
Adrian Soriano, Facade, VSK, Bro Keller, 4 of the best and most popular wrestlers in PPW, all in one match, and that one is going to be
why
fun.
Why does VSK look like Leo Sparrow grew a beard?
Well, they hang out a lot together. It's
I think that's what happened. I think Leo Sparrow's literally rubbing off on him.
It's in that Long Island water. Who
are you rooting for here?
I can't pick.
It's hard. I have a clear winner who I want to see.
I can pick, and I like all 3 of the or all 4 of these guys, but VSK spent a lot of times at those gimmick tables.
It's VSK's time. Bro Keller had a good run. Adrian Serrano had an amazing run. Facade has already been a champion. It's time for PPW to go into 2024 with some VSK World Championship.
But all 4 of these guys are incredible.
All amazing.
If they're at a show local to you, if you can find them on IWTV, PPW shows usually within a week or 2 on Premier Streaming Network. Lights Out, I believe, is on there now. You can see everybody in that graphic was on that show except Bro Keller, because Bro Keller was off being a dad, which is really cool. But that allowed Brad Baylor to step in against VSK, and they had a really, really fun match. You had Soriano was involved in a tag match. He teamed up with the former Enzo Amore. Facade was up against Vinny Pacifico with a cameo by another former ABJ podcast guest as the G Fuel mascot. I didn't know they sold G Fuel in Mexico City, Mexico, but apparently they do. And I drawing a blank. Yeah, so those are the other three, and then Bro was on daddy duty. But yeah, so fun stuff there. But yeah, that's all I really have.
All right. Well, that'll do it for us here at Tornado Tag. We'll see you guys next week with This Week in Wrestling. Maybe if maybe we can sneak some topic based stuff in there. People really like the predictions. They like that stuff too. We'll try to find ourselves. Maybe one week we can kind of smash This Week in Wrestling a little tighter, and then maybe give you guys a little more of a featured thing to do. So there's a lot of things that we could do with this. We appreciate you guys supporting and loving. We are less than 1,000 hours watch time away from being monetized on YouTube. BP, this is a journey I've been chasing for 6 years. And if I hit it, it's gonna be nuts. It's something I've been working really, really fucking hard for. It's my 6th channel now. I have 879 we have 879 subscribers. We're one away from the illustrious 880. We're closing in on the goal. Have always been 1,000 subs and the watch hours, and then we can be monetized. And we're creeping in, man. We're knocking on the door. Thank you guys all so much for the support. It's been amazing. The Discord community has been fantastic. If you haven't done so already, check the links below to join the Discord community. I will post it in the chat as well, so make sure you go do that. And also, just support, man. There's merchandise out there. A whole bunch of merchandise has just been dropped on Teespring. So make sure you go over to the Teespring side, grab your merchandise with that extra Christmas money, help your boy out. Got some COVID recently, and I had to miss a couple days of work, so money's going to be tight for me for a couple weeks. I get paid bi-weekly, so if you grab a t-shirt,
that's fun,
it would really help me out. That'll do it for us, though. We'll see you guys next week. I'll be here again tomorrow night doing a live watch along for SmackDown as well. SmackDown Revolution will be the show, and then we will be back once again next Thursday for some Tornado Tag.
We got to talk about that. We might have to flip a day.
Oh, yeah. Maybe next week we might take a day off of Tornado Tag because there is a Fighter Entertainment show happening.
Fighter Entertainment. We're going to be watching the likes of Jimmy Lloyd and Cheeseburger, and Tony Deppin's going to fight in his own bar. That's going to be fun.
Oh, they just announced somebody else I thought was a pretty cool announcement.
Did they? I know they.
Rocket's going to be there.
Yeah, Rocket's going to be there. Junie Underwood, former ABJ podcast.
I'm going to miss it. I'm bummed. I have work, and there's probably no way I'll be able to do that. So maybe I can have. 1 week I'll have like a guest host, maybe come in and we talk this week, and we have a guest host we'll figure something out.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll talk to you guys next time. Here's some outro music by Converse Kiss, Billy Trey, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks for watching this presentation. Like, share, and subscribe for more.